G'day, my name's Lachlan. Today we're going to talk about chord theory and scale degrees in music and how it can help us play music and write music and all of that cool stuff. What I've drawn up here, a bunch of Roman numerals representing the scale degrees. And then the little formula between, that's a formula we can use to determine intervals within that scale. Something you need to commit to memory. TTS, TTTS. Tone, tone, semitone. Tone, 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 semitone. Make a rhyme or a rap. Whatever you need to do to remember. Scale degrees, Roman numerals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Each scale degree represents a different function in the key. For example, chord 1, the tonic, is the home. It's also what we name the key after. Chord 4, the subdominant, really picks up the vibe. It's very uplifting. Chord 5, the dominant. That's kind of our destination on holiday, and we're kind of ready to go back home. You know, we're starting to form our return. Chord 6. I've underlined it because it's a key one to remember. It's the relative minor. All right? I'll explain more shortly. Chord 7, little circle, that stands for diminished. We'll talk about that shortly too. You might wonder why some are big and some are small, uppercase, lowercase. Well, they represent chord types. We'll talk about that shortly too. Stay tuned. All right. Now what I'm going to do is draw in the C major scale. This is what we start when teaching music theory. What we start with when teaching music theory. You'll see why. Now we need to determine if there's any sharps or flats in this key. To do that, we consult our TTS formula. TTS, TTTS. All right, we can go through and play the intervals to check. C to D, this gap here. That's a tone. It says it should be a tone. No changes necessary. D to E. We've got another tone there. Says it should be all gravy. E to F. That's a semitone and it says it should be. No need to change anything. F to G. It's another tone and it says it should be. I'm loving this. G to A. It says it should be a tone. And it is. A to B. That's a tone and it says it should be. B to C. Another semitone there and it says it should be. All right. Well, that must be why C major is the easiest one to start with, because there are no sharps or flats. Let's put in some chords now. So earlier, I noted you to the uppercase and lowercase Roman numerals. Well, it's quite easy to work out what I'm trying to say there. The big ones are major, the little ones are minor, noting that 7 is diminished. For now, let's just think of that as like super minor, even depressed. Now let's fill in our chords. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, also our relative minor, B diminished, and C major again. There we go. That's where the chords come from. I could explain a triad if you want. So a triad basically is the 3 notes that make up a chord. So the notes that make up the chord of C, basically we can use this formula 1, 3, 5. where you pull the notes 1, 3, and 5, starting from the note of which you want to build the chord on. So C, we go 1, 3 being E, 5 being G. C, E, and G. Let's play it. C major. Same principle with scale degree 2. We go D, F, A. Let's find those notes. Yep, that's a minor chord. D minor it is. We go to scale degree 3. We got E, G, B. Remember, 1, 3, 5. Let's build a chord with E, G, and B. Classic E minor. Yes, Rudolph gets a bit sad when he hears E minor. I don't know how I'm going to contend with that, but let's keep going. Scale degree 4. F, A, C. F major. Scale degree 5. G, B, D. Remember, we're going to go up octave. We just come back around again, do the loop. G, B, and D. Good old G major. A, C, E for scale degree 6, making A minor. B, D, F. Scale degree 7, there's our half diminished chord. You could use that in place of B minor, or you could use B minor instead. More of a pop sound, mainstream sound. But if you want to get more theoretically correct, then use that diminished 7th and try and resolve it. Falls back onto 1 nicely. All right, we've got the chords in C. Say you want to write a song. Simple. All you do now is pick some chords in there and start strumming. Start going between them. Work out what you like. Try different things. If you stay within that key, it's going to sound somewhat okay. People are going to accept it. It's notes that we're familiar with. All right, so I might just start on 1, C. Let's go to chord 4. Oh, I'm on chord 4. Back to 1. Let's go to 6. Oh, feel that sick. 5, 6, 7. Probably a bit weird at the end there, but you get the drift. Go to your heart's content. Write whatever song you want. Make a pattern from those things, and you'll be right. I'm going to show you a different key now. Show you how this works retrospectively across the board. All right, we need to change color. I wish I had more colors, but I'm using what I've got. All right, next one down, I'm going to go key of G. That's the next sort of one in order. There we go. Good old alphabet. Help me out again. Starting from G. Remember, there's no H in music. G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We already know which chords are major and minor from our previous example, so let's write them in. 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major, 6 is our relative minor, and 7 is our diminished chord. But something's wrong. We need to go through and check our intervals. Consulting TTS, TTTS. Let's go through. G to A. That's a tone, says it should be. Good. A to B. That's a tone, says it should be. B to C. That's a semitone and it says it should be. C to D. That's a tone and it says it should be. D to E. Another tone and it says it should be. And what do we got here? E to F. Now that says it needs to be a tone, but I'm only hearing a semitone. What we're going to do there is expand the gap, extend it, widen the interval. Simple. We put a sharp here. We sharpen the F. I really should have wrote the chords in after doing this, but hey, it's all good. So we got here F sharp diminished. All right, so we wanted to write a song in G. Let's start with G. I'm going to take you on a journey. I'm going to move now to chord 2. Sanctuary at chord 5. Chord 6. 4. Yeah, it's probably all stuff that's been written before, but it doesn't matter. What matters is what you create, what you can do with your time and your space and your energy. All right. Let's write another key in. Let's go, should we do a flat key? No, I think we'll continue in order of sharps because it would make more sense to those watching. All right, next one. Key of D. First step, what we didn't do in the key of G, but we'll do it here. Consult our formula of tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. Let's go through. D to E. That's a tone, says it should be. Moving on. E to F. That's a semitone. Tells us it needs to be a tone. We've got to widen that gap. What do? Sharpen the F. By the way, that is not a hashtag. It was a sharp before it became that. Music theory's been around a very long time. Thanks to Pythagoras, he did well, I think. Anyway, let's not go there. Let's stay here. F sharp to G. Let's play it. Semitone, says it should be all good. G to A. That's a tone, says it should be. A to B. That's a tone and it says it should be. B to C. I'm hearing a semitone, but it's telling me it needs to be a tone. Yet again, we've got to widen that gap. We've got to open it up. Sharpen the C. There we have the key of D. Well, we should write the chords in. 1 being major, 2 being E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, the relative minor, C sharp diminished. All right. Now you can write a song in the key of D. You'd have to learn your chords first, but you can do that. And start on 1. Chord 4. Back to 1. That sounds really good. Why am I teaching? I think I've just come up with the best pops. Oh, actually, and I just realized that. Ha! Heaps of songs use that one. Doesn't mean you can't. You've just got to manipulate other elements of music to make it your own. Right now, we're talking a lot about pitch, notes and harmony and stuff. But we've still got rhythm, texture, timbre, all these other elements that you can tap into to make your music authentic. You could get a G chord, strum it like that, or you could just go, or you could go. Whatever, put your vibe into it, all right? Your music is your music, all right? These rules belong to everybody. Nobody owns the notes, all right? It's up to you to put them together your own way. There are rules to abide by. Not so you won't get into, you'll get punished. Well, you might when you're listening because bad music sounds bad. It doesn't make us feel good like music does. There are certain rules that need to be learned, memorized, and committed to memory so you can have a lot of fun with the stuff. I'm trying to show you a simple method that I've developed that helped me understand and gave me a lot of freedom with it. Let's write another key in now. Let's go a bit further down the line so you can see how this works. Let's go the key of E. We'll skip out one. All right, first thing, consult our formula of intervals. TTS, TTTS. Go through on the guitar and listen to them. Let's check. E to F. That's a semitone. Tells us it needs to be a tone. We're going to make a change straight away. Sharpen the F, widen the gap, open it up. F sharp to G. Let's play it. Oh. I'm hearing a semitone. Telling us it needs to be a tone. Oh, gee. Pencil sharpener's getting a workout. All right, G to A. Oh, G sharp, sorry. G sharp to A. That's a semitone, and it tells us it should be. How groovy. A to B. That's a tone, and it tells us that it should be. B to C. Hearing a semitone, telling us that it needs to be a tone. We know this one. We widen the gap, sharpen the C. C sharp to D. I'm hearing a semitone, but it tells us that it must be a tone to fit the formula. Yet again, sharpen the D. That's why, my friends, when we see 4 sharps in a key, we know it's E major. G major has 1 sharp, D major has 2 sharps, E major has 4 sharps. You're probably thinking, is there one between those? Yes, there is. It's A major. I just missed it out because I feel like I've shown you enough now. You could go and do this with all of the keys and know how all the chords work together. Let's do one more in the flat key range just to cover everything. Back to the green marker to keep things aesthetic. I could do F, simple with 1 flat, but I think let's get groovy here and we'll do let's do the key of E flat. Oh, we'll do E flat. Well, we know it's E flat, so we can already put that one in. Okay. Consult our formula, just like in mathematics. If we know the formula, we can do it. All right. E flat to F. Let's play it. Let's come up the fretboard a bit to get this right. That's a tone. Says it should be, so we're good. Let's move on. F to G. It's a tone and it says it should be. All good. G to A. That's a tone, but it's telling us it needs to be a semitone. This time we have to shrink the gap. We're not widening it, we're shrinking it. And you guessed it, this is where we use a flat. Which one though? You smart cookie worked it out. A flat. Let's play that just to double check. G to A flat. You could also technically call that G sharp, but when we're in a flat key, we use flats only. Keeps it easy to understand. A flat to B. Let's have a listen. Oh, that's bigger. That's a minor third. That's actually a tone and a half, 3 semitones. It tells us that it's got to be a tone though, so we've got to shrink that. We'll bring A flat, we'll bring the B flat, so the B down to a B flat, and then we'll have A flat to B flat. Let's listen to that. And there's our healthy tone. B flat to C. That's a tone, and it says it should be, so we're good. C to D. That's a tone, and it says it should be. D to E flat. Semitone, so we're good. Key of E flat. We should put the chords in. 1 being major, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4 major, 5 major, 6 relative minor, 7 diminished. And if you want to play and write songs in the key of E flat, especially on the guitar, you could tune it all down and do it that way, or you're going to need to learn some bar chords. Let's just forget that last little chord I played. I tried to use the diminished, but I played it a semitone too low and it was terribly out of tune, but that's okay. As long as we recognize, it's all good. It's when you are playing out of tune and you don't know, that's when you're not listening. You can listen though. Everybody can listen. We all have that gift. You just got to tune in. All right, I think that almost does it for today. I could go forever explaining this stuff. I love it. I used to be a school teacher in the classroom. Now I've got my own little wee studio here so I can teach what I want. If you like this stuff, please subscribe. Put a comment if you want me to explain something a bit better, go into depth of one of the keys. Let me know. I'm new at this and I appreciate it if you've watched to this point. Thank you.